Good afternoon and welcome back to the Remuera Bowling Club. We're about to watch the final of the men's triples. We've just had the final of the women's completed at the Hunter Bowls Auckland Champion triples. I've got with me Peter Blucher. Welcome, Peter, and good to have you here for this final. And I can tell you that earlier on, just before this, we had the women's final, and we had the Carlton Cornwall combination of Karen Hema, Lisa Bordeaux and Lindy Rolfe. Lisa Bordeaux leading, Lindy Rolfe and Karen Hema skipping, up against the Royal Oak combination of Andrea Wilson, Janine Young and Rima Strickland. And it was the Carlton Cornwall side who back-to-back for the won everything so far with the Hema Bordeaux and Linda Rolfe side running out the winners. And of course, last weekend we saw Karen Hema and Lisa Bordeaux win the champion singles. And, of course, just prior to that, we saw the week before that, Linda Rolfe win the champion singles. So they won the pairs. So bad luck to the Royal Oak combination, but too strong on the day were the Carlton Cornwall combination. So here we've got the Grey Lynn side. That's the side of Mai Tarua, Eri Tutai, Vero Nutai. They're up against the Howick combination of Neil Fisher, Brian Chapman and Gary Cotton. Gary Cotton leading, and Brian Chapman and Neil Fisher. And in the Grey Lynn side, we've got Vero Nutai leading, Eri Tutai playing number 2, and Mai Tarua skipping. First end's underway of this 18-end final. So good to have you on board, Peter. Welcome to that this afternoon.
Yep, thanks, Kevin. And looking forward to a good game here. Very experienced Howick team against a relatively inexperienced Grey Lynn team. But one good aspect of the game is all the white bowls belong to the one team. So
that's all the Howick team, isn't it? They've got the Taylor Bowls, but it is it's great to see a club like Lynn who have made their way through to the final, isn't it? You know, it's always good to see what I would call the not lesser clubs. It's unfair to say that, but yeah, the smaller clubs, and they've won their way through. Quality got through yesterday, played this morning, of course, and in the semi-final, and they defeated East Tamaki. And the Howick combination, they beat Bridge Park. So good to see a club like Grey Lynn lining up in the final.
yeah, and they've gone really good this weekend. I was actually watching them yesterday out at Papatoi, and they played in some real windy conditions.
Was pretty trying, would you say,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah, and they managed to play on the grass out there, which was really good too. And they played well, and they got through a couple of strong teams yesterday, and so it's good to see them carry on today.
And as we see this bowl of Gary Cotton, because very, as you rightly said, Peter, very experienced side is this Howick side, and at the Howick opening up with a single on the first end. But as you rightly said, you've had to play pretty good to be here anyway, haven't you? So you know, it's who knows.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a great opportunity for especially Vero here. I think he's only been playing for 3 or 4 years, so he's got a chance at the big stage now, playing against the big boys. So yeah, good luck to him.
Well, of course, yourself, Peter, you're still very involved with the 1 to 5 players. You're still it's your sort of selectorial domain, or is that?
Yeah, I'm head selector coach of the Auckland 1 to 5 rep side, and also on over winter we run a coaching program for 1 to 5 players, and I'm involved with the West Zone of that as well. Yeah, based out in West Auckland. So yeah, very much been involved with 1 to 5 over the last few years, mainly because both my children, 2 of my children.
Yes,
play.
that's right. But just this bowl here, can I hold up? No, it's not. But 2 good weighted bowls, both from Vero Nitai there, just finishing jack level. And also, well, good to have, I'd say be magnificent to have now Leif Selby on board within the whole Auckland coaching fraternity, and helping out with some of these younger players, and can only be a plus for Auckland.
It is, and he brings a great deal of enthusiasm into it as well. And obviously, he's a good soundboard for me for my ideas. But he lets me do my own thing as well, which is good. So.
Yeah, we're fortunate now in Auckland to have. I was also fortunate. I was playing at the same time as when Leif was playing for Australia, and at Warilla, and you don't very often get the opportunity to get a world champion on board, and someone who's so committed to the whole development and coaching environment. And I've said it numerous times. His Leif Shelby was always known for. He's got one of the best deliveries in the world, and it never changes.
No, he's very, very smooth. I watched him play last week when he took out the Champ Peers, Auckland Champ Peers, repeating from the year before.
Yes, that's correct.
And no, he's very, very good, smooth delivery. He's obviously still pretty fit compared to some of us old guys with artificial joints and whatever else. He's
not too fit today, I can tell you. He's got it's not COVID. He's been tested, but he's got the old, he's got the bug. And he's a bit off colour today, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because he was going to be here he was going to do one of the games today with us. So, but. And as far as Lisa Bordeaux, she's got a coach in the kitchen, hasn't she?
Yeah, that's right. I think she's a pretty good player in her own right. She won't have to rely on him too much for.
Very good player indeed. Very good player. So Glen Eden, you're still tied up with Glen Eden?
It's Te Peninsula is my club.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's right. That's my apologies. That's where we had Aotearoa Bowls, wasn't it, 2 years ago?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
21 was headquarters there at Te Atatu. So that was the last one we played, because this season's one got cancelled because change of restriction levels just a week out. So we missed it this year.
So the Howick side, as you rightly said, very, very accomplished side. They're certainly putting early pressure on, aren't they? On the, no disrespect to the Grey Lynn boys, but they're showing their drawing prowess, and my Tarua endeavouring to try and get some sort of result, playing with weight up through the head to try and get a result to the bowls. And
yeah, you probably find that Mai's probably one of the informed players in Auckland at the moment. Seems to be going through a golden patch and winning tournaments. And he plays most days of the week as well. So
he enjoys it.
Yeah.
Grey Lynn, they've just got the one green at Grey Lynn, have they, or two?
I'm not too sure. I haven't been there myself, because I started off over in playing in the North Harbour, and didn't spend a lot of time in Auckland. So I've been in Auckland now for about probably 10 years or so at Te Atatu Peninsula. Haven't actually been to Grey Lynn.
Yeah, well, look, last time I was at Grey Lynn was when I was playing, in fact, and it was you. And I remember being there for, I think it was New Zealand Championship. They used it, for section play, but I can't remember whether there was one or two. Here's a good attempt here.
Yeah,
great attempt here for the jack. Great attempt here. Draws through right on top of the jack. We can't get much better than that, and you're quite right, Peter. The skip, he's certainly, my Tarua, that shows some pretty good form, doesn't it?
Yep. No, he's been very solid over the past, probably over the past year, I suppose. So he spends a bit of time with Jamie Hill and a bit of practice with Jamie, so that's helping him out in his game as well.
Talking about Jamie, like last weekend we did the Peers, and I must admit I was very, very impressed. Although they didn't win the final, I was very, very impressed with David Motu, who skipped with Danny Delaney, skipped the Ellerslie side. He's 14-year-old, and his whole management of the game as well, I was pretty impressed with.
Yeah, Davy's got a wonderful temperament. He steps up and he does his bowl. If it doesn't come out right, it doesn't let him down. He doesn't get him down. Sorry, but he's a real talent and a really good kid too. I'm lucky that I get to play a little bit of bowls with Davey, obviously with my son Adam, who's around about the same age. So they like to play together, the youngies. So it's all good.
Well, we certainly want to see. In fact, this week, or earlier this week, I was talking to Mike Kernahan. Of course, he's part of the whole New Zealand program, the high performance coach, and we were talking about young players like David, etc. And it's imperative that, and your son as well, is very handy that they get the opportunity to get in good events to broaden their horizons and broaden their opportunities.
Yeah, and I think those two, Davey Moto and Liam Hill, they're getting the opportunities. They're playing with good players, and it really brings on their game. Both of them are going great.
We certainly hope we see all of them at the Burnside under-26 singles later on in the year.
Hopefully I'm taking Adam if he gets selected. I'm not sure if the other two were going, but we've booked our flight, so hopefully he does get selected in the playing competition.
Can I just say in passing, it would be good if they did go, all three of them, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
So we've got the Grey Lynn side holding shot there with a bit of a fortuitous slide, but and then Brian Chapman, the number 2 for the Howick side, the Taylor's man. These guys, as you rightly said, they've been around a long time. and they played together a long time as well. And but in this old 2-bowl triples game, you get them close. They've got to get them closer, don't they?
Yeah, you get one on the head early. It's a great benefit in this game.
Certainly is. It's been interesting watching the Queensland State Championships and watching the Peers final on on Friday, where former Auckland player Chris Leave won the Queensland Peers after winning the week before, winning the Queensland triples as well, with playing with Aaron Sheriff, and this week playing in the Peers with Maddie Lucas winning the Peers, and you're quite right, because so often head after head it was that first bowl, that first bowl effectiveness that made such a big difference right throughout. You get that first bowl right on top or close to it, just allows you to consolidate the head, doesn't it, and play shots from there. But it's when you're starting to scratch around a bit.
Yeah, so that's a great last bowl there from Brian. Obviously, they didn't have anything close until that, and I think he's got a shot just in behind the jack there.
Yeah, he'd be very close to shot. They, in fact, would be shot. There you can see the whitey coloured bowl, as Peter rightly said, all the same colour, so it does make it easier. My goodness, we see some all sorts of colour compositions now with all the events that we had one at the Bowls 3-5. In fact, they had photos taken of it. I think there's a lady, Maxie Jensen, I think her name was, over North Harbour, and her bowls had 6 colours.
Oh, is that right?
Looking for the jack slide, and
Just going to go through.
just go through. Yeah, 6 colours, and Colin from Bowls New Zealand actually jumped out on the green when we were doing their TV game and got a photo of it, and very multicoloured.
No, 3's the most I've seen.
Yeah, it was, yeah. So good bowl coming in here from the very experienced Neil Fisher, and a draw right down to the jack. And of course, Fisher plays a lot of bowls as well in the PBA, so very, very much an indoor player as well. Likes playing on the indoor surfaces.
Yep. He's been a very good player for a long time, Neil. Very, very consistent. I think I might be just coming down to try and replace that bowl if you can. He looks like he might be a little bit wide.
Yeah, needs to come back. He's got a good, he's had good weight too, isn't it? It's a good attempt. Another metre of weight would have got him to more than a second shot. So Neil Fisher now, who plays out of North Harbour and Auckland, isn't he? I think he still plays at Browns Bay too, Neil, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Although I think most of the time he plays out of Howick now.
A nice try, Neil.
There'll be a 2 to the Howick side. And I think that was his brother this morning as well playing, was it?
Yep.
The East Tamaki side?
Yep. Brother Ian was skipping the East Tamaki 3 in the other semi-final. And they lost on the last end to the Greyland team, so we could have had brothers skipping against each other.
Could well have, yeah, could well have. And also this weekend out at New Lynn, wasn't it? The UBC.
Yep.
That was yesterday and today, is that correct? I think.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not sure how the results are heading there. I know when we got home last night, my son Adam, he checked up and he said that the 2 boys, David and Liam, were going really good. So hopefully they've carried on today.
Yeah, they're certainly they're players of the future for sure. As we see the first bowl of Gary Cotton, who started his bowls, of course, at the Mangere Club. Son of his father as well, Days gone by, it was a fantastic draw player. Good opening bowl here.
Yeah, good bowl from Vito here.
From Vito, just going to finish jack level. Don't see many with the old brown cloud walker shoes nowadays.
They're the ones I wore when I started playing.
Yeah, everybody.
30 odd years ago.
Yeah, that was good reply here from Gary Cotton. Going to sit on to the shot bowl, move the well played, and he's as long as I've known Gary, he's been pretty vigilant in the cloud walker brown shoes. Yeah, I remember when I first started a long time ago, there was a few white shoes, but it was mainly the brown cloud walkers. That was the attire. And you might have heard Neil Fisher and those mics that are around the green. That he's only a few centimetres off the jack is the Gary Cotton bowl.
Yeah, I think he wants Brian just to come down and draw onto that bowl of Vito's there. If he does get onto the bowl in front of the jack, it's only going to come back to Gary's other bowl. Brian's right in the area here too.
Yeah, he's on a good line to the bowl or jack, and did touch the jack, and it's a good bowl, but I suppose a good thing for the Gray-Lynn combination for Eddie Tutay now coming to play his first bowl. You can at least see the jack, which you couldn't see the jack before.
Yep, always an advantage if you can see it.
It is on the backhand.
Might just turn under.
Just going to duck under. Had the weight to get contact to get a good result. And there's no doubt on these surfaces that if you nip that green fractionally, you pay for it, don't you?
Yep, that's right. Looks like he's called Brian on the same shot again here.
It's on a slightly wider line, but they won't mind that. That's fine. It's an over the head. That's
Eddie will be looking to just get onto the jack and turn it around the corner back a bit. But it looks like
he's gone
wide.
He's gone very, very wide there. So it's the one changeover on this, the fourth end. And it is 3-1 to Howick. 18 ends. And also, that's your 5-year and unders playing there as well. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, they're down to the last 8 of the 1 to 5 year championship triples.
And any of your sort of, what you see, your prodigies in amongst the group they're playing?
Yep. There's a few of them have made through, but quite a few others have put their hands up in this competition as well for next year. But we've got 2 Te Atatū teams made the last 8, so they're down there playing. So wishing all the best to them.
So more than likely the weight is not going to help here. There's a good attempt to try and get to the counting by the shot bowl from the skip. Maitarua just more than likely needed another couple of feet of weight to hold up to get to the shot bowl. On the backhand is Fisher. Certainly doesn't want to give the Gray-Lynn guys a shoulder, but it's going to be well low and under the head, because you can't really attack it because the sort of the deeper part of the head belongs to the Howick side. They've got bowls in behind the head, so he was saying he's too quick. It's a pretty good attempt. It's a very good attempt, in fact. Just went by. It's a one.
No, I don't think it was too quick. I mean,
No, I don't think it was either.
If he got the kitty, he would have stayed with it, and if he actually got on to the shot bowl, he could have made 2 or 3 out of it.
Well, if he got on the shot bowl, he just sat and flopped, which would have brought that other bowl in as well. So, personally, I think he needed to have that sort of weight to be able to hold up to get that line to the jack. Otherwise, he'd have, like, disappeared under the head.
Yeah, he just didn't really want to move that kitty.
No, because there was a line of grey balls there in behind the head. So, Gary Cotton, of course, who said started his bowls at Mangere a long time ago. And he won't be happy with that. He missed his, weight wasn't too bad, but lost his line, and Vero now will be endeavouring to try and get his team off to a good start on this, the 5th head. Well, it's going to just come down to the weight. It's on a good line.
Yeah, very good.
It's a good bowl from the Lynn lead. Sits right alongside. Touch it. Well played. And you will not see Gary Cotton, certainly one of those leads who, I'm not saying he's a one-hand player, that's unfair to say that, but there's certainly, he's pretty, he doesn't change around much. He's
yeah, I think he does, prefer coming down that backhand side.
So, Vero Nutai endeavouring to changing his hand here.
I think he's just doesn't want to get onto that bowl of Gary's.
So on the forehand, well, it just depends where that line goes to about now. Or of course, he was a wee bit underweighted as well, so it just. So he might have hit Neil Fisher saying, draws in there nicely. It's a nice draw in there. It's interesting that delivery of Brian Chapman's. It's going to go by, but it's got one of those deliveries whereby the old hand moves in at the last minute, which I suppose you've played for long enough, it works fine, but it can also put yourself in a position where you can miss your green pretty easy as well with that duck in hand, so to speak.
Yeah, he sort of steps forward, and then there's a wait before he brings the arm through on the delivery, but it works pretty well for him.
Oh, absolutely. He's got that fixed stance type delivery. In this bowl of Eddie Tutai, there's nothing wrong with that. Sits him behind the head.
Yeah, that's good, because Brian will be looking down to come down and draw onto that shot bowl. So, if he does move the kitty a bit, Eddie's just waiting there for it. So
Jack movement's complimentary, isn't it, to the Grey Lynn side? As we see Chapman, and he's pretty close to getting down to the bowl. No, he won't. Falls in front of him, about 2'6" lower the jack, right on the centre line. So, how long is this going to hold? Not long enough. Not going to hold up for long enough. But it's interesting to hear, Peter, from Neil Fisher's point of view, where that Brian Chapman bowl just finished lower the jack on that, can just easily just push you that wee bit wider. It's those sort of bowls can just be challenging to get down to the jack.
Yeah, I think Neil won't mind to play a little bit over, I suppose.
Well, he can afford to put have some weight, weight on there, because he's got the bowl sitting in behind the head. He's fishing out, wearing that well-known cardigan, and this is on a good line. They're going to hold up. It's a slide. Does it? No. Rests onto the Brian Chapman bowl. Just with one roll of that into the head. So here's the chance for the Grail inside. Just draw past, really. Just needs to hold up a fraction longer, not going to.
He ducks under that, he might be right.
Yeah, gets the inside of that. Doesn't do so, but that's fine. It's another bowl on the head. That's the... So, Neil Fisher, you would have heard both Gary Cotton and Brian Chapman saying it's literally play the same shot. He's on the wider side. How far it'll come back? Won't come back enough to get to the shot bowl.
Oh, lovely try, mate. Good try.
So the aim here for Mai is to, if he draws inside that last bolt, he'd be close to counting. Just wondered did he give that a flick out of the hand. It's on a good line, coming well.
Pretty close there.
Needs to sit on the bowls. It go well played.
Great punt.
That's superbly played by the Greyland skip. It's made two, not sure, definitely.
Only one.
One it is. Just needed to fall over. It would have fallen in. It would definitely have been another shot. Our thanks, of course, to Hunter Bowls. The New Zealand, it's got the New Zealand's largest bowl shop, the home of Taylor Bowls, and based at the Ellerslie Bowling Club, New Zealand's most famous branded bowl. And of course you can find them at www.huntersbowls.co.nz, and you can go online and you can see the full array of bowls, of which are available from the Hunters shop there, and all the accessories as well that are available. Do you know, I don't know, do you know, do they sell second-hand bowls there as well, do they, or just...
No, just mainly new bowls.
Just new bowls.
Yeah. You want the second-hand bowls, you normally go to Trade Me or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Because they're quite a chunky dollar item now, aren't they? Set of bowls.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of those fortunate Australian players, you just sort of get given sets of bowls on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah, no such luck for us, unfortunately.
No, it's not. Absolutely, you're right there. So,
It's got a better track here.
Hero's got a better track coming down to the jack. Will just go by, but he's going to be just slightly over jack level. 4-2, sorry, after 5 of the 18 ends. And remembering that earlier we saw the Karen Hema skip side, Karen Hema skipping with Linda Ralph at 2 and Lisa Prideaux leading. They defeated the Royal Oak side of Rima Strickland, skipping with Janine Young at 2 and Andrea Wilson leading. And the Carlton side on the day, just too strong, the Carlton Cornwall side. But it's fair to say that's a pretty experienced women's triple side, isn't it, Peter? Karen Hema and Linda Ralph and Lisa Prideaux. It's a pretty good side.
Yep, definitely strong side, and in good form. All of them playing good at the moment.
And good bowl here from Eddie To tie the number 2. That's the shot bowl sitting lower the jack, but Chapman on the backhand. This looks pretty handy. How far is it going to run? Run enough for a shot. That's well played by the Howick number 2. Well, that's on a pretty... How far is it going to... Needs to come under the bowl or gets it clean over the top, but was actually was hitting for quite a good spot and just got not about a wee bit of weight on, but was in the vicinity for sure. So Neil Fisher saying we've only got one on the head to Brian Chapman, so draw us another bowl on the head, which Chapman will endeavour to do on the backhand. And my thanks, of course, again to Tamara, the lady who brings the bowls from all the events all around New Zealand, and Mike Nato, who is here today helping out yet once again. Great to have them on board. It's just about a full-time production now, this doing the bowls. It's
Yeah, well, they're keeping you busy too, Kev. So.
Yeah, they are. It is. I don't mind. I enjoy it. But as you can see, we've got Tamara and I started, I don't know, about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, can't remember. And at the Nationals in Torrey in Dunedin, and we had a couple of phones, 2 or 3 phones and a microphone, and that was sort of about it. But we've now, as you can see from the equipment we've got here now, it's a fully blown studio.
No, you guys got a good setup now. So a chance for my here to, if you can sit this shot bowl of Brian's there.
If he works back now, he'll be close.
Give them maybe 3 shots if he can move it away, but he just pulled up.
Just pulled up. He was certainly on the line. See where Neil Fisher goes with his forehand shot, and as he rightly said, he wanted to get another bowl on the head because and gave them another bowl on the head was what they of course were looking for, the Howick side, because you're right, Peter, there's great opportunity there to play with. Could have also played with weight to try and dislodge shot bowl. So here's my, well, this two's on a good line, just needs to get inside his own, gets his own clean and falls over.
We got one mate, it's Jack Hyde.
So call in from Gary Cotton, still got the one shot. Well, the good thing from my there, he was up to the head, gave himself a chance, and he had to so Neil Fisher now endeavouring to add 4-2. It is the Howick side leader. This isn't going to change anything. It's outside the head here. So 1, 6 ends gone, 5-2 to the Howick combination. And of course this year as well, you lost the Aotearoa Bowls as well, wasn't it? It was because that was your headquarters. The last time it was held, was you were headquarters at your club?
Yep. We're headquarters at Te Ati Peninsula, and this year we were supposed to be in Hastings, and the levels changed, and we couldn't host all the teams in the one in the one area as such, because it all builds toward a final, and we can have like 300 or 400 players there. So
well, it's interesting. It might have been the week before, 10 days before. Tamara and myself, we were down at Taranaki for the Taranaki Open Fours, and of course Alan Batley and Johnny Niwa. No, very disappointed. Johnny did some of the commentary with us, but yeah, always a great event, the Aotearoa Bowls on the calendar, and so where to this year? Back to Hastings, is it?
No, we're going down to Christchurch.
Oh,
So it's a big trip, inter-island trip for most of us.
oh, it'll be great down. We're going to sit right on top of the Greyland Bowl. Did Gary Cotton. So Vero here, if you can just maintain that line, get a touch on the jack, all advantageous to Lynn.
It's a bit tight unless he comes onto that shot bowl, maybe.
Is he going to get a bit of luck? Well, not all bad. In fact, we were at 9 at the Bowls 3-5 just the other week, and one of the guys in Tom from the Canterbury Club.
Yes.
And of course, he was telling us about the not that we're ready for this year, but I did see some photos that work started on the very exciting development that the Canterbury Club have got, moving to the Woolston Workingmen's Club, and in fact taking that over where the greens used to be, and they'll have a great complex there at Woolston. So where are the bowls going to be played down there for the Aotearoa Bowls? And
it's at the I think it's the Papanui Club, is it?
Good club.
Yeah, they got a cosy club.
Yes,
out the
they
front,
have.
Bowling greens.
Yes, they
behind,
have.
So
Yes.
It'll be actually a perfect location for something like this.
Jack, looking for the jack, just goes by, does. Yeah, well, because a few years ago, 4 years ago, they, of course, they were headquarters for the Nationals there at the Christmas Nationals, the pairs and the singles, and yeah, the club. So the club's at the front of the entranceway, and then you've got the greens, or one green, then you've got the clubhouse, and another green in behind. So everything's within walking distance. Huge big car park, and they have a number of it's a caravan. People park their motorhomes in the car park there. Jack this time just goes by.
But it's still there for when he plays, he can pick that kitty up through that gap.
So yeah, at Papanui they've got a fantastic complex there, and the club. So you'll get well looked after.
Yeah, I think I've only been there once, probably about 6 or 7 years ago. They hosted the Kitty Hawks under 21s. And
yes,
my daughter Mackenzie was down there playing in that. So yeah, it was a great complex.
So Mackenzie still is she playing or?
No, she's having a bit of time off. She just got a job and just moved out of home and got herself a boyfriend. So she's got other things on her mind.
Absolutely.
Apart from bowls at the moment, she still joins up. She wanted to play in the Aotearoa Nationals, obviously, because her team won it.
Correct. Yeah. Well, under the green here, needs some luck on a slide. Not going to do so. Yes, I was there. We did the finals that year there in.
So it ended up that she couldn't actually go this weekend because her friend was getting married on the weekend. But obviously, she's got a chance to defend the title next year. So.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Wherever you finish.
Good bit of cover here.
Yeah, cover down the back from Fisher. Because there's a great opportunity to the sit inside the bowl. Gets a little bit of jack movement here for Mai Tarua. And score a couple of 3 with what's sitting around in the catching pen.
He's only got to move it about 6 or 8 inches, doesn't he?
Oh, he's got a bit of line, has he not? How far is this going to move
Drop
back?
He might
The slide could do it. Slide and a roll. Not going to do so. Single to the Howick club. Takes them out to 6-2 after 7. And I presume next week, I haven't checked yet, tomorrow might be able to tell me. We'll be covering next weekend. We will be covering the Auckland men's and ladies champion fours. So that will be live as well throughout on the Auckland Bowls website. Just go to the Auckland Bowls website and they'll give you the links to go directly to where you need to go. Good opening bowl here from Gary Cotton, and there's no doubt in this 2-bowl triples game, Peter, the first 2 bowls are pretty, they count a lot, don't they?
Yeah, the Howick team just starting to put a little bit of pressure on Lynn here.
Good green here from Vero. This looks a pretty handy bowl. How far is it going to run though? That's the only, needs to get the jack on the way through. Certainly had the line. Just had a yard and a bit by.
Yeah, Gary will stay on that backhand and come down onto his own bowl or slip it and get inside that yellow one.
Just going to dip under the line. You're right, the shot that he's endeavouring to play. But it's still pretty handy because it also just tightens up that line onto the jack as well on that forehand.
Yeah, it's probably right in Veto's way where his bowl will be coming in towards the kitty there. So
because you want to be coming around it and under it, really, don't you?
Yeah. So it's just made him go a little bit narrow. Might get a little rub.
Might get a bit of luck. Just rock the bowl. So when do the 1 to 5s finish the event? At a later date, is it?
Yeah, they got their finals will be run on Queen's birthday weekend, actually, on the Saturday and Sunday. So they'll be down to the last 4 teams. They're down to the last 4 in the pairs, and then they've got the singles are on next week, and then the fours are on the week after Labour weekend.
And are they all going to be played on over one weekend? Are they the finals? Is that the
of the singles, pairs, and triples?
Right.
The fours is the week after, but with the number of teams, we might be able to finish it in the one weekend.
Just again, that bowl of Eddie too tired. He's only half a bowl away from getting results. Really, they have been on the last 2 ends actually.
Yeah. He's got to keep. Just keep trying to do that, even if he sits one of the white bowls and hangs around, or he drags the kitty.
And the Howick side, they won't mind this bowl deep over the head. They'll be quite happy with that.
Yeah, see, if he wants to get onto the kitty on this hand, he's actually got to play with a bit of weight.
6-2. Howick leading over the grey Lynn side. It's so easy. You're trying so hard to try and dead draw you down on the head.
I thought Maya would have got him to come down the backhand side and just play under to either grab the kitty or sit the shot bowl on the inside.
Well, you're quite right, Peter. I just think that backhand is a bit of better percentage shot, to play to the bowls or get inside the bowls or. So, the very experienced Neil Fisher. On the forehand. Of course, I don't know about now, but was always part of the PBA.
Yeah, great goal, mate.
Oh, and it falls over.
I think mine might have a look at this one.
Yeah, because I thought he was going to have a clear look at the jack, but it just fell back in, which eliminated that. So, mate, Tatarua is going to needs to hold up a bit longer.
Yeah, you can get it off the side.
Get it off the inside of this, can he? Well, he got one of them out. And was really the only shot that he could play, wasn't it? Really, there was.
Yeah, I thought he might have played a bit more weight actually. They were in a line. There wasn't really a gap to go through, and if he hit it at pace, anything could happen. Still think he might be 2 or 3 down now.
Yeah, I think he's still 3 down. So here's Fisher on the backhand, leading 6-2, and holding, as Peter rightly said, more than likely 3 shots. So 6-2 down. What do you do here to go try and save? Or?
Well, either he just got to play onto the shot bowl, and the kiddie will spring back a foot to his 2, or else he goes it. So he's got to decide which shot he's going to play.
So on the backhand, and looking, as you rightly said, to try and, well, he's got to be inside that line really. He doesn't need to get that result. It's going to come back on the centre line, but has it got the weight to get all the way down? No, it won't, and that still looks like 3. Pretty sure it was 3. We'll just wait for them to confirm that on the board. It was. So it's 9-2. Start chasing shots early, don't you?
It does, and then Gary step up and put one on the cake straight away. Then they're really under a lot of pressure.
They certainly are. Just questioning the length there, but Neil Fisher just asking about how far the mat was up. And also, it's fair to say, Peter, that with this two bowl triples, consistency and shot effectiveness is, especially from a lead point of view, it's about consistency, isn't it? To start building that head from your first bowl.
Yep. Get that first one on. It certainly goes a long way to setting the end up.
Certainly does.
And then if you get the second one on, well, you've really got them under pressure straight away.
So good opening bowl here from Vero Nutai. Just going to go by. But it's over the head. It's not far from it. That looked narrow out of the hand from Gary Cotton, and it is.
Yeah. This might be a nuisance to Vero, though.
Could well be, correct. So on the backhand. Come around the bowl. Needs to come around to drift around the corner. And will do so. And more than likely just needed a metre less weight, but certainly had the line.
It's something Brian does, those false starts, quite often.
Yeah.
Sometimes he can do them 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yeah, he does. He's on the outer side. I think really, Eddie, he's got to really change his hand. And rightly so, going to, what I'd say, the open hand. So on a good line, how's the weight? Just missing weight, certainly hit the line, as Peter and I spoke about a few moments ago. Though it's about getting that consistency. I see things haven't. Well, the Queensland state titles, championships are on at the moment, and there it is on their last day. They've been able to move outside. The last 2 days they've been locked up inside with the adverse weather which they've had. They've been, well, the last week and a bit, they've been ducking in and out of showers and rain. And of course, not far away from. Also, the Australian Open is about to get underway, the big event. Also, this week we've got starting on Sky. You have to check your, have to have a look and see. I think it's Tuesday night on Sky. The BPL 15, Bowls Premier League 15, gets underway in Australia at Pine Rivers. And some of the greats, not the great Alex Marshall of Scotland, he's playing, Ryan Bester. From New Zealand, we've got Joe Edwards. In fact, Joe Edwards is playing with Alex Marshall. Pretty good combination.
They're just another level at all. Those players. Some of the shots they play is just just amazing.
Shannon McElroy, he's over. He's playing, as is Ali Forsyth, along with all of the leading Australian players. They all line up and will be on Sky on I think starting on Tuesday night. The night round played on the indoor green at Pine Rivers. Just needs to be inside just to get the shot.
The weight's pretty good, mate.
Well, they've got the next three hanging around there.
Just see
Peter,
where,
haven't they?
see where this one goes.
Because it could be, if this doesn't get into the head, that play with force to try and get to that shot bowl. So, is he out wide enough? Might get underneath to it. Yeah, well, he got to another bowl on the head, which really was needed because there was a good chance there for Mai to really have a attack at the shot bowl, the next three that were sitting around it. So on the forehand.
Yeah, Eddie's called him down the forehand here. If he can get a touch on the kitty, he can make 3 or 4 shots here.
Needs to be just under the bowl.
No, his speed was good. It's just
Well,
still might even turn in.
Unfortunately, it is 11-2. Unfortunately for the Grey Lynn guys, Peter, they're missing shots by or sort of half a bowl type thing. They're either just half a bowl outside or half a bowl under. They
need to, if they get 1 or 2 really close and put the pressure back onto the opposition early.
And so the Bowls Premier League gets underway. Definitely on Sky from Tuesday night onwards. And then we've got the Trans-Tasman coming up, of course, as well. In the first week in July, it is from Mount Tamborine on the Gold Coast. And the New Zealand side, Commonwealth Games para blind bowls, will be going head-to-head against Australian counterparts for the Trans-Tasman. We've missed the last couple because of the COVID. But we're back into it this year. And the green, by the way, at Mount Tambourine has been designed as close as possible to English conditions, to be running around about 12 seconds. And it's interesting, the Australian squad, nice to have money, isn't it? They took the whole squad over to Leamington on Spa, had an international series as a Commonwealth Games trial, and of course they played on the greens, which is going to be used for the Commonwealth Games. And the hope is that the green at Mount Tambourine will be of a similar speed to what will be experienced at Leamington on Spa for the Commonwealth Games. And although Bowls New Zealand aren't doing the live streaming of that Trans-Tasman, we will still though be there, and we are hoping that we'll definitely have coverage of the matches, but we're hoping that we can do some joint New Zealand-Australia commentary of that forthcoming Trans-Tasman. So under the head badly here, sadly, is right.
Yeah, well, he changed from his backhand side. He'd been coming up. He hadn't quite been picking it, so he's elected to try 2 bowls on the forehand, and he's been under green on both of them.
So under the new setup with Bowls New Zealand, with the work we're doing, we've got coverage. And finishing lower the jack is the Brian Chapman bowl, but Tamara, myself and the crew, we've got coverage of right throughout the whole year of a number of events, indoor and outdoor as well. And we'll be bringing all of that live coverage on the various Bowls New Zealand platforms. And this bowl, it must be close to shot.
Yeah, good bowl there from Eddie.
And as Peter rightly said, I think if a fly moves, Brian pulls it in.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know if he's going to let it go or not.
So it could be 1 to Grey Lynn at this point, or just Eddie playing his definitely out on the wider side here. Needs to be on that hand, needs to be inside the 2 white or the 2 Howick bowls, needs to be inside that line.
Trying to see through the window if I can see Adam's score out there.
Oh, they out on the 1 to 5s.
Yeah, and the 1 to 5s, last 8.
Bowl here coming from Neil Fisher, going to get a touch on the jack, all but sits right alongside the jack.
That's what he told us. If he bothered to play with good players, he'd win a lot more.
Just depends on the weight here. Getting down towards the shot. Oh, the shot of Neil. With an idea, only needed 1 more roll. 2 more rolls did. A lot of instructions going on out there. Both Gary Cotton and Brian Chapman giving instructions to their skip, Neil Bishop, who's holding the shot.
Yep, Gary took charge in the end.
He did.
Sent Brian to the bank by the looks.
And it's going to get, not going to get, turns the bowl over.
Mike
I
can come down and sit that bowl
yeah,
off.
that's
to make
the
three
way.
here,
Yep.
so.
You can make 3 shots of that. Set the ball through the head. Pick your weight, whatever weight you want to play to the bowl. Certainly giving it more weight. Is it going to come back? Moving back. Not enough though. Oh, but see, just that half a bowls, really, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
and we wonder the Howick combination. We've played 10 ends. They've jumped out to a 12-2 lead. Hard to come back from there.
Yep. They're under pressure up front, and it's showing at the end. Neil's really only had to protect and not change too much.
No, well, he hasn't really. He hasn't been at heads as well, Peter Headsy, where he's had to change over and he say 3 down, and it's been okay for him. So just trying to decide whether the jack's up or not. Yes, it is. So Gary Cotton now on end 11 of 18 on his backhand.
Yeah, a bit of experience here from Gary. He's mixing up the lengths. He knows they've got a bit of an edge up front, so he's just trying to change it up for them. And a great first bowl here.
Certainly is. Sits just alongside the jack, just past the jack. And once again, thanks to Tamara and Mike for all the work they've done here today. And Tamara does all the time, every event. It's great though now, Peter, that with the camera set up and everything we've got here, don't have to go outside. We can sit away in these little closets and all computerized, all.
Very good setup now. Especially if it's raining outside.
Well, yes, it. This looks a fairly good bowl here. How far is it going to run though? This will be the shot. Just slightly over jack high, but sits in a good position. Definitely one. Chapman now. Is that move again?
Tracking well.
It is tracking well. This bowl of Brian Chapman breaking towards the jack now. Sits right alongside it. Jack level on the end 11. So are we seeing some weight here? I think we are. And they've got plenty.
Take a bit of frustrations out.
That's
that
fair
one,
enough. Didn't get the shot bowl target, but got one onto the outside. Yeah, it's. I feel better after that.
Yeah. Brian will be looking to put one back here past these yellows. Otherwise, he could have dropped the weight to either sit the bowl through or drag the kitty. But Mike doesn't want to lose that other yellow bowl there, or else he's in big trouble. So he
mixes those other two up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely out on the wide side, needs a bit of generous draw. How far is it coming back? There's a good attempt on that wider drawing hand, just finishes outside, and it's a second shot for sure. So Adam's playing in a club side?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, from a TRG team. So,
And it's mixed too, isn't it?
yeah, so the 1 to 5 junior championships, we have separate men's and women's singles, but in the pairs, triples and fours, it's mixed any combination. So there's some teams out there with all 3 women and some all 3 men, and actually good to see one out there with the 3 women in the team playing in the last 8.
Good ball coming here, sitting just inside the jack. Yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see them all playing together. It's in the old days, of course, that would never be thought of, but really good to see. Trying to get to the jack on the run.
Yeah, they've got a back bowl now. That one.
They have rolled the.
We got a back one, mate. So, go on the black one.
So, for shut. I see a draw to the outside bowl, the black bowl.
Yeah, looking good here.
He's just come inside it, going to do so. And it's 3 shots, I would say. Well, he's got to look for the jack, doesn't he? There's
Yeah.
draw it is the call. That's what I'm going to do. So my data says I'm going to draw this on the forehand. 3 down. By goodness, this is a fairly good attempt. Is it going to sit up long enough? Get a slide, get the shot. Unlucky. It's what we mean, just about. You would think then it was either going to sit on the bowl, get to the jack. Unlucky, really.
Yep. If you got the other side of the jack, it would have gone across for 2 shots down.
Correct. Desperately unlucky there with the Greyland side. Skip, who said that he would draw 2 it was. He said, I'll draw this, and by goodness, all but did doing that as well. Just got the jack, just went the wrong way for him.
Yes, he's you're still really playing with confidence, Mike. Years gone by, last 2 or 3 years, he probably just would have stepped up and had a go at that.
Just let him go, sort of. Yeah.
Yep. But no, it's a good lead now. And Gary will just try and apply a bit more pressure by getting this one close.
Well, it's just stage now for the Howick side to get 1-on-1 over, and then I'm not saying you can close up shot, but it certainly makes it difficult for the opposition to get a good scoring hand, doesn't it? You see Cotton coming up lower the jack.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to get multiples to catch up now. So.
That's right.
Vera's coming down this forehand again now, and he's undergreened.
Yeah, well, you certainly you pay the price on this. Well, you pay the price regardless on most services. That if you play under the line, you certainly you will pay the price for it. And Gary Cotton, he was apologising then to Fisher. Just watching this screen, I don't know, but it does seem it's got there's not, if you get out a wee bit, it's not very generous to you.
Yeah, it can be hard to pick, but no, I think once you've got it, you're okay. It's pretty consistent, really.
Well, we saw in that women's final earlier on, Alicia Prideaux, midway through the game, sort of got it line and everything else right, and and then was consistently putting bowls, within 18 inches, 2 feet, end after end. And if you can do that, you're in a pretty good. You're in a pretty good spot, aren't you?
Yep, that's right. And if you win the end, you get to dictate the length, and if you're going good at a certain length, you just keep it going there because you're finding the weight. One of the few times Eddie's come down the back end, he's played a good shot.
And he's drawn the shot right in behind the jack. Well played. So Ron Chapman pretty quickly into his work. He's brought that line in. How far has he brought it in? Is he going to get inside and sit on the bowl? Yes, he does, but will still remain shot to Lynn, the black bowl. Eddie too tight. His bowl definitely shot again on the backhand. Holding the one is the Lynn side as we play in 12 of 18. And this is on a pretty good line too, this bowl, as it's coming back towards the head. Well played. That's 2 shots for sure. Sits just on jack level, about 15 inches.
Yeah, Neil will come down that backhand side, I think, to sit that bowl or move the kitty a little bit to the...
Well, he's certainly got the good chance to sit on the bowl, isn't he, down that backhand side. It's exactly as you said, it's a shot he's playing.
Yeah, sometimes when you're skipping a game, you see that you walk away and you can see it, and you feel pretty confident you can play it.
He's to come back now, and he's got the weight to hold up all the way. No, it won't. So here's the chance now for Mike Tarua. If he draws past the Neil Fisher bowl, he'll be close to adding another bowl to the count, holding 2. Is it out wide enough? No, it's not. Needs to get past the Fisher bowl down towards the jack area. Oh, if it gets down cleanly, need another couple of rolls. Neil Fisher needs to improve by a metre with his weight.
Yep, go for the same shot here. Ben's on his way here.
It's gonna, doesn't it?
Little rub. No.
Yeah, well, does that make? No, it doesn't quite make 3. I think the back bowl. So what's this bowl here? Maitaru, is it coming all the way back? If it gets all the way back, it'll count. Well, it may well. 3, I think I heard the call. 3 they've taken out. 4.
Well, Brian thinks there's other ones in too, so that's the multiples we're talking about. So
it is 4. Well played by the Lynn side.
yep, just what they needed. So
And those are sorts of numbers that they really do pick up. Well, it was interesting this morning in the semi-final, the Karen Hemet, Lisa Bordeaux side, and Linda Ralph up against the Catherine Bean, Sue Curran side with Paula Kempthorne. They were well in front, and it came down to a last-end shootout because they were all square, and it was the time that actually was the killer in the finish.
yeah, well, it was a score similar to what this one was, and then St Helier's team just really turned it on for the last 4 ends to get up and tie 16 all, and then Carlton Cornwall got through with 1 on the last.
Yeah, Linda Ralph, I think, drew the shot. And just checking, delivered, well, done the right thing here as well, although that first bowl of Vero is not where he wanted it, but they've definitely changed the length up as well, gone to the 2 metre mark.
Yeah, just trying to, it was really pretty important for Vero to get one there as close as he could, because you know, Gary's got him under pressure now, and they still need to score multiples to catch up.
No idea. Shot anyway. Yeah.
So how long is it going to hold up? Dip away now. Had Jack level weight.
I wouldn't change much, mate. Same again. Weight's perfect.
So here is Gary Cotton on the backhand with the Howick side as we play end 13, leading 14-6. He's out on a wider arc this time is Gary Cotton. This should work back kindly to the Jack, and will do. You can see if he had the weight, certainly would have come right back to the Jack. So on the backhand is Eddie Tutai. Going to come back, or might draw the shot around this bowl.
Get the shot.
If he gets around the bowl, he'll draw the shot, gets around it cleanly, all but.
Not worried about it.
All but, just needed 2 more rolls, and it had been Jack level and counting for sure. Well, that bowl looked under the line, out of the hand, and will more than likely finish inside. Well,
got a nice little turn there.
Got a little bit of a
That's the
wobble
shot
there
now.
at the finish, didn't it?
Getting up here over there.
There's been 2 bowls come up on that hand now, on this end, who got that little tail. Well, we'll see what happens with this bowl of Eddie's, because that's certainly on I'd say a better line to the Jack. Deserves to be the shot because it actually had the best green of those that had got down there.
Yeah, he'll just keep Brian on the same. Just look to draw inside the yellow, or
That must be about 10 times now that we've. So, Chapman, after a 4 scored by the Greylands side on the 12th end, but trailing. He's got the Jack here. He's got the Jack here. Wow, the Jack got that. So could have actually got the back of the Jack. Could have gone straight across to the yellow, the Greyland Bowls sitting at the side of the head. 14-6 as we come down to the end of end 13 of 18. So you worked out how Adam's getting on.
I just saw the opposition putting the mat down, so they didn't run that in. So I don't know what the score is.
So on the backhand is Mai Tarua as we play in 13. And how far is this going to come back? Certainly got it out on that good arc. Is it going to come back inside clean? If it comes inside clean, he'll draw the shot here. And certainly had a good drawing line to the Jack.
We want to follow him. On the lows is good.
You can turn Eddie's one in here if he's not careful.
You could. As we see the Fisher Bowl rock and rolls on the That sounded a wee bit of an adventurous shot, Peter, didn't it?
If he hits those 3 bowls, he's going to get rid of there too.
Correct.
As well. I think Mile just come down to draw this on the
Well, Mai wasn't very far away with his first of actually drawing the shot, changing his hand. Danger here because he plays under the bowl too much on that low side. How far is this going to hold up? If it holds up enough, it'll be shot.
Yep.
And it should be shot.
Now Neil can afford to play with a bit of weight onto there now.
Yeah, he can play that shunt shot down onto the, and the bowl would just go straight out of the head, wouldn't it?
Stitch weight. At least stitch weight.
A lot of instructions. So he'll fish it on end 13. Playing with that weight that we spoke about. It's out on the wide side, won't come back. So that's turn a row, 14-7 as we come to end 14. Well, it's good to see, really, Peter, it's good to see that the boys are still in there. And who knows, you pick up another 3 here. Yeah.
Is that
14-7, 13.
Oh, 12 or 13 ends. What is it? They're playing back this way. Must be the odd number. Must be 13. This must be the 14th, is it?
That's it, I make it.
Yeah, there it is. Looks like Neil wants to shorten it up again.
Well, this is going to 2 metre mark.
I don't know if it'll get there.
I don't think it'll get there. Don't think you can. Yeah, straight away call 2 metres. Well, I'm sure they'll put the mat right back.
Yeah.
Correct. So here's Vera Nutai. Here's the opportunity, as Peter said before, get that first bowl close, put the pressure on early.
Under the line again.
Under the line. It matter how far it runs away from the centre line. So Gary Cotton. Yeah, this is foreign territory as well for Gary Cotton as well to so plenty of room here. Gary Cotton certainly wasn't able to, let's say, get right on top of the jack on the backhand. Again, though, he's going to go quickly under that centre line and disappear as we play in 14 of 18. So we'll see how Gary Cotton adjusts. Well, he certainly changed that line. I think he might have overcorrected on the line. We'll finish jack level and be shot. Well, that should certainly be under the line. You really got to be literally through Vero's bowl on that hand, don't you, to get to the to get that towards the head. Now where that bowl's just gone, Eddie Tutai's bowl just tightens that line up as well on the backhand.
It does. He needed to come down and, like you say, draw through the yellow bowl or get the inside edge of the white bowl. That's a shot to do.
So, Brian Chapman on the backhand.
Eddie's going to tackle him.
Well, it's exactly what we spoke about, where that bowl was placed, wasn't it? It certainly put itself on that line. Now, from Eddie's point of view, the number 2 for Gray Lynn, it needs to be out to the bowl, and he is out towards that. He's out towards the bowl, which he needs to be. Gets onto the yellow,
he might get them both.
Turns it over, makes 2 shots of it.
Yep, well done.
So Brian Chapman now having to change his hand. We'll go to that. We'll go to the forehand. Yeah, new out of the hand.
No, he got a bad release on that one.
Yes.
Perhaps he should have stopped that time.
That's right, Pete. Yeah. The hold all tickets on the first one, wasn't it? Well, here's a chance.
Yes, definitely.
There's a chance. I can, draw 1, possibly 2 here. Pressure's on the Howick side. 14-7. You can go to possibly, go to 14-10. But we do know, of course, Neil Fisher's more than capable of drawing well inside that. But we are playing a different length, aren't we?
It is, yeah. And sometimes it's harder to draw when you're 3 or 4 down. So big bowl from Mai here if he can get one close.
Needs to get inside this Chapman bowl. That's going to drop outside it, but can get all the way around. And even wasn't actually that far away. It was finished on, it was breaking back towards the head. So here is first time really that Neil Fisher's.
I don't think he liked it.
Been on that draw line, and that's not going to do anything. You're quite right, Peter. Never liked that one. So here's Moitarua. Can he draw another?
He's brought his line in.
Brought his line in. This looks a pretty handy line. Needs to start just slowing now, and will do so. And brushes the jack. That's definitely 3. Definitely 3 to the Grey Lynn side. Neil Fisher now 3 down on the head, leading 14-7. Has he got the weight? Has he got the weight?
He's going to need a rub here. And he's got one.
Not enough.
Three.
Would they say 2?
3.
3, it is.
Yeah. I saw Mai just check the board before that last bowl there, and I know he thinks he's got a chance now. He's only 4 behind.
Well, a 4, a 1 and a 3. The last 3 ends.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, game can change. They score a 2 here, you're literally all square. Really?
Yeah.
And, of course, they want to make sure they own that.
I think he's lost
He's lost the jack. That's what he didn't want. Although that's interesting. Neil Fisher's calling for the 2 metre mark. So, Howick, they want to stay on the that same line. So here we've got some updates from the 1 to 5 triples, and the Point Chevalier side defeated St Heliers. So that's Stephen Campbell skipping, is it? Would you know?
Yeah, they're still going actually. So that's 12.
Oh,
ends.
that's 12 ends. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Point Chief, Stephen Campbell, Henry Fane, and Marg Dockin, and playing against the women's team I mentioned, Linda Fenton, Angela Longney and Pip Wilton. Mount Albert down behind the Te Atatu team, skipped by JC Fuller, Jeff Amadi and Colin Harris-Webster. They're 16-9 over Mount Albert with Nathan Hatarini, Leon George and Zoran Bartulovic. The game I'm really interested
Correct,
in.
this is the game you want to know about.
yeah. 15 all. Te Atatu team skipped by Adam, Mike Luanga and Gary Howard. 15 all against Howick, Mike Dickey.
Doug Boland, is it?
Yeah, and Rod Sodgrove. And also 14 all in the other game after 13 ends, Carlton Cornwall, Adam Lockie, Brett Christie and Peter McElvenna against Eddie Jones, Graham Thompson and Bruce Fenton. So all close games. Well, the top two, the top half of the top half of the draw is that they got good leads, but two draws in the bottom half of the draw. So
the top two looks like Point Chevalier and Te Atatu, and the other side it's anybody's.
Yeah.
14-10 here, and again it is Greyland were holding the shot. The bowl of Vero tonight, Nutai was the shot, and those haven't looked may as well but still be having a look is Skip. Don't know, it's a measure was the call then. There's three, there's three to go up for the Greyland side. 14 ends gone, and it's 14-10. This bowl of Eddie Tutai, that's on a good arc. This bowl, this will come back to the centre lines. It got the weight to get all the way down, was certainly on. That was on a line to the jack. That bowl is. So, Brian Chapman going to the backhand. 14 ends gone. So, important here that Greyland just draw the shot in, just keep building,
it's good.
Building on the good work that they've done all the way through on the last three ends. Need to try and keep that momentum up. Needs a bit of help under the line. As we've seen throughout this game, though, to be fair, Peter, Mike Tarua is more than capable of drawing the shot here.
Yep. He can probably come down. If he gets a touch on it, he can make a couple as well. That's what Ian's wanting to come down there just to cover that off.
So, here is. It's becoming every bowl now. We have the amber light coming out. And that's staying out on that widest, or not staying out, it's unfair to say that. It was the way it was delivered and weight, stayed out. Yeah, so here's a big chance there for mine. Nothing really close, is there? There's really a metre to.
Yeah, and that forehand side, that bowl might be in his line. He might come up backhand side to either sit the white bowl off or get the kitty a couple of. Kitty a foot or so. Now he's coming up the forehand.
Yeah, we'll know fairly quickly out of the hand. We get a pretty good idea of what it's looking like, and needs to start coming back now. More than likely got too much weight, but had the line. Well, if we can adjust that line, that weight by a couple of metres, just drop round the front bowl, Eddie's front bowl, he can be close to getting shot.
That turned quite a lot late, that one, so yeah, it's got a pretty good line to come in that side.
So Neil Fisher He's on a narrower line. Well, this might hurt. This might hurt.
No harm done.
Still got one.
No harm done was the call.
They may have two here. It's hard to actually tell.
So, Waitara said there was no harm done. See what he does with this bowl. Well, if he gets around this, he's got a better line. I tell you, he's got a better line to the shot bowl.
Oh, but no, I don't think so.
There was a great attempt from the Greyland skip. Just needed one more roll, really, didn't it? And would have definitely made shot. It's not going to do anything. It's under.
Yeah. Eddie's got his finger up.
One it is. Well,
Tightening up now, isn't it? So,
11 ends
yeah.
was 14-2. We're now playing ends 16 at 14-11. So we can just about say there's no favourite now, is there?
No. And once Mai gets a sniff and gets his tail up, he's hard to beat. So. Gonna be
Well,
an interesting last few ends there.
This is great for the Greyland boys to certainly that was cutting it fine to get the 2 metre mark, wasn't it? The jack literally sort of teetered on the board at the end. Certainly a full length head for sure. Now you see the board, 15 ends gone, 14-11 in the final of the Hunter Bowls Auckland Champion men's triples. Earlier on, we saw the Karen Hema, Lisa Bordeaux, Linda Ralph side defeat the Royal Oak combination of Rima Strickland, Janine Young and Adrian Wilson to give the Hunter Bowls Women's Champion triples back to the Carlton Cornwall Bowling Club. And of course, that joins with them now the pairs that they won last week as well with Lisa Bordeaux and Karen Hema. And then it was Linda Ralph who won the champion singles. So Carlton Cornwall showing their strength in the women's discipline so far, with only the fours to go, of course. So very good bowl there, much needed from Gary Cotton. They needed to get a head that goes their way, and it's forced. Now disappointed the Greyland boys. The two lead bowls there after climbing their way back in from 14-2 to 14-11 with 3 to go.
Yeah, there was no change made with the second bowl there, so that you really needed to get it a bit closer than that.
Well, Eddie really's got to follow that line, doesn't he, up on the
Yeah, I think he bowls a forehand.
that's it. Yeah, that's the.
He'll come down and look to sit that bowl.
So on the forehand, Peter said, rightly trying to get to the shot bowl, draw towards the shot bowl.
Pretty good effort.
And there's a pretty good attempt. There's a very good attempt. There's a marvellous attempt. Falls in, makes shot.
I think he is.
I think it might be shot now. It is the shot. Well played. Perfect line. I think we expect that now, literally every bowl, don't we? But the stop start, is it?
We played against them. Adam and I played the national pairs a couple of years ago up here in Auckland, and it was one of those days. It was wet and it was raining, and we played against Brian, and I think it was because it was wet and wasn't getting the feel of the bowl in his hand. He was doing it up to 5 times. So that means
Another good line here from Eddie Tutai. You're going to sit, crunch the bowl, get the jack, sits the bowl around the corner. And that's not all bad.
No, that's good. If he got onto his own bowl there, he could have shot that bowl off and had 2 really close. But it's good. Got them under a bit of pressure now.
Yeah, well, I think there's a bit of pressure going on, and we're going to see that with that bowl that's just been played then.
Yeah. Brian wouldn't be happy with that.
Neil Fisher just asking Brian Chapman, you playing here or over there?
Kitty's moved.
Kitty's moved. 14-2. Everything's looking good. So,
yes, start getting the wobbles when they start catching you like this. And, if Mai steps up and puts another one close, well then, it'll be interesting.
Well, if Mike and Tarua can get to the jack, move it around the corner as well on the draw, and just cut the vision off to that shot bowl. Jack, so here he is now on the backhand. Is the Greyland skip holding one shot, trailing 14-11 as we play the 16th in. How far is this coming back?
It's a pretty good line, I think.
Has it got the weight to get all the way down? Well, what it does, sadly, is it just gives a good line, seeing whether it's in or out.
Black line over there. Is it touching the black line? Is it touching the line? No.
So, didn't come alive, but holding one. So Neil Fisher will want to make sure you want to bring that line in, trying to play to the shot bowl or jack, and what's he going to get? He got the jack, moved it out to the side, just got a brush on it, got a toucher in the ditch.
Mai's got to get another bowl there because
he certainly does.
Neil can get rid of that shot bowl and pick up a few, so he really needs another bowl on the head here.
So looking carefully, is my Tarua, and this doesn't look too bad as it comes past the front bowl.
Yeah, well played.
Sits on his own, sits there, hides it as well. Yeah, only shot on's the draw. Are we going to be 14-13 as we go to end 17? Here's Fisher now on the backhand, down 2 on the head, leading 14-11. Well, that's certainly out wider. How far is that going to come back? I know Brian Chapman's trying to encourage it to come back. I don't know whether he have any joy, will he?
2 down.
2 it is. Well, if we had a turnaround here. 16 ends gone. Howick leading 14-13. We're leading at end 11. 14 shots to 2. A 4, a 1, a 3, a 1 and a 2. And we're literally anybody's game.
Yep, you can see, Eddie's starting to believe it now. Just his mannerism, what he's doing there. They're well in with a chance here, and they need Vero to get this first one nice and close.
You're right, Peter. The start here is so important, isn't it? The last end, Vero struggled to get that. It was the shot came after his 2 bowls. Ideally here now, they want Vero to give them a good start. Out on the backhand. It's going to be under the line. It's got a bit of weight on it.
He's just been under green most of the game, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's been a lot of, you're right, played a lot of bowls like under the line. Here's on the backhand is Gary Cotton. And how far is that going to hold up to the jack? Well, that's really a good line now for for the Grey Lynn, for Vera. He knows he's got to have line out to that bowl. Well, out of the hand, it looked to be wider. Looked to have, oh, yes. And my, he likes to look at this. They're coming to the jack.
Go through the hole.
You're one bowl low, mate.
One bowl low was the call, but that was nearly a jack trail. That would have gotten it through all the way back to the ditch.
Yep. Probably wasn't the shot Maya was expecting to come down.
But he was. But I could see.
If he got the result, it was great. But really, he's left his guys in a bit of trouble now.
Halfway up, Maya got very, very keen on it. As you can see, that line was looking. Well, it'd have to be a forehand. I'd say here for Eddie Tutai.
Eddie's played that forehand pretty good coming down.
Oh, he certainly did. That last end, he's.
You've got option of that head over there. You either sit on those bowls or that.
Look now, different expression now. Different. All of a sudden, this game is turned around. And they're certainly in it with a great chance. The Grey Lynn side, anybody's game at 14-13. By goodness, if he sits on this front bowl, if he sits on the front bowl clean, nearly did, just rolled past it, sat on the bowl flush and rolled over, would have been right on.
Ignoring the head down here.
So, Neil Fisher saying, ignoring the head, please. We want you right down here, over the head. But from the Grey Lynn point of view, really, Peter, all they want to do is they just score one, isn't it? They've got 3 bowls to score one, and then it's anybody's, isn't it?
And Eddie, looking from the mat there, Eddie will be able to see a shot here where he can get onto any one of those, drag that kitty.
There's a bit to rest on there, isn't there? You know, if he sits inside the bowls, there is a bit to rest on. Main thing is we've got the bowl out on a pretty wide arc, but if it stays on board, that's still fine. Weight wasn't, he's over the head.
Yeah, green's good. Another metre or so of weight. Lovely.
And no doubt he'll just be trying to draw the shot.
Yep. Give it a little touch.
And if he, gets a touch, gets something else, that's a bonus for him.
Well, this isn't where Neil was wanting it.
No, it's not. And looking very closely at where it is. So, does he go for the jack?
Yeah, he'll just be drawing about a foot over to either sit on any one of those bowls or drag the jack to that black bowl.
He's got the advantage, I suppose, if he snags the jack. The Howick side haven't got a bowl over the head.
No, that's right. He's got 2 bowls too, so he can try that with his first one. It's really only, a foot over a draw.
Well, really, Peter, if he gets the jack, it's a bonus. The object is to draw the shot, isn't it? And then see what happens after that. So, on the mat is my Tarua, and he's on the draw. My goodness, he's liking this.
Looking all right here.
He's liking this. He's liking this. He's liking this. Oh. That was the weight, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Now he's hard because he can't afford to go through the gap again, can he?
I thought he had the jack.
Oh yeah. No. Look. He thought he had it too.
Yeah. He looked to be right on line to the jack there. Neil Fisher now on the backhand. I'd say desperately wanted to get some cover in because I'm sure.
Yeah. He won this back bowl that he asked Brian for.
He's not going to get it though, is he? Oh, halfway.
Well, it's a counter, isn't it? I think. Big bowl for Mai here.
So the Grey Lynn skip making his way back. He was only, a couple of zigzag papers away from getting the jack, wasn't he, really, on the draw. An amazing comeback here from the Greyland side, down 14-2 at the end 11. And here we are now playing end 17, and we're at 14-13. Sure down on the head at this point of Greyland, with the last bowl to be played by Tarua, but he's got a chance.
This will be probably the most important bowl of the game.
He's brought his line in badly though, Peter.
No, he's missed quite badly here.
I wonder if he's that half-hearted, do I, don't I?
Yeah. Neil can...
Turner looks the call.
No, you're playing the same ball again, mate. You come around there. Just drop it short of it, whatever.
So Neil Fisher delivers that. Doesn't really want to go. They said there's 2 and a measure. Was they indicated?
I reckon they've got 4 or 5 there. It's all over, eh?
They've shaken hands. Have the Greyland side. And I'm going to say it was 4 to Howick on that last end. And we've now seen the side of Neil Fisher, Brian Chapman and Gary Cotton leading up against the very courageous Greyland side, Mai Tarua, Iri Tutai, Vero Nutai, who were down by 14 shots to 2 after 11 of the 18 ends. And as we started in 17, here we were at 14-13. They'd scored, the Greyland side had come back, they'd scored a 4, a 1, a 3, a 1 and a 2. And by goodness, Peter, a trail of the jack, which Mai was so close to getting, it could have changed the complexion of that last end. There was a trail of the jack, there was 3 shots, wasn't there?
Yep. Those last 2 bowls the game could have gone completely different. It was a great comeback from the Greyland team. Mai will be disappointed. He thought he got it with his first bowl, but he'll be disappointed with his last bowl. But no, well done to them. They've all done really good so far.
He would have been disappointed with the second bowl, but I agree with your sentiment, Peter, that I think he was pretty confident that he had it with his first bowl.
Yeah.
And from us looking at the monitor as well, it looked as though he was very, very much online to get a trickle on the jack, get a trail on the jack. So that brings to a close the Auckland Bowls, the Hunter Bowls champion and champion triples. In the women, we had the Carlton side, skipped by Karen Hemer, Linda Ralph and Lisa Prideaux, up against the Royal Oak side with Rima Strickland skipping, Janine Young at 2 and Andrea Wilson leading. And it was the Carlton side who continued on their winning way after already winning the champion women's singles and the pairs. Now they've added the triples to their trove of titles. And in the men's, of course, in the semi-finals, we saw in the semi-finals we saw the Howick side. They defeated Bridge Park, and the Greyland side defeated East Tamaki. Then on to the final, and the Greyland side of Mai Tarua, Iri Tutai, Vero Nutai, going down in a real titanic battle against the Howick side of Neil Fisher, Brian Chapman and Gary Cotton, running out the winners by, I would say, 18 shots to 13. Peter Blucher has been with me throughout this game. Thank you, Peter, for your time. Once again, thank you to Tamara and Mike, who have been here right throughout the whole day. So this is Kevin Hickland saying farewell from the champion triples at the Remuera Bowling Club in Auckland.